Hi, how are you? My name is Stan Ross, and today I will present you the topic of can we consider certain rights as universal? Why or why not? Human rights aim to protect the dignity of every person, but this doesn't answer the question of whether they are truly universal. Let's look at how political and other human rights factors can influence on our understanding of what we should be considered universal. So, introduction to universal rights. Human rights are fundamental protection for people, such as the right to live and freedom of expression. However, not all countries treat these rights the same way. Also, international institutions like the United Nations consider them universal. The application of these rights varies depending on political, cultural, and economic context. So, are these rights truly universal? Here is a great question. The politicization of human rights. Human rights are intended to defend human dignity, but sometimes they become a tool that support various political movements. Governments and international organizations can use these arguments in favor of human rights to justify economic sanctions, military interventions, or even add a diplomatic pressure between countries or governments. For example, the United States has used a human rights violation as an excuse to impose economic sanctions on Cuba for decades. The goal is to promote democracy and protect human rights. However, these sanctions have caused several hardships for Cubans, restricting their access to medicine, food, and resources that are essential for a comfortable life. These sanctions, rather than improving human rights, have worsened living conditions. So let's pass to the next topic, that it is USA sanctions on Cuba. The United States has long maintained sanctions against Cuba, justifying them with the argument of human rights violation in the country. These sanctions are presented as a method to drive change, but they have negative consequences for the Cuban population, such as a shortage of essential goods and substandard medical care. Critics argue that the impact of these sanctions harms the people they were intended to help, which make us question whether the process of applying these norms is truly consistent in helping to protect human rights and that they are not being used to support a political party. Well, environment and indigenous rights in Brazil. There's a very difficult topic that we're going to talk about it. During Jair Bolsonaro presidency in Brazil, environment protection were weakened, following deforestation in the Amazonas. Indigenous communities whose rights are tied to land saw their homes threatened. In response, European countries such as France and Germany commanded environment policies as human rights violation as threatened Brazil with the trade sanctions. However, Bolsonaro accuses these countries of using human rights as an excuse for political and economic intervention. This case demonstrates how human rights concerns can be linked to national interests and political gain. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Are political human rights generally protected, or they are simply a bargaining chip in global politics? Okay, the complexity of universal rights. This image shows the relationship between human rights and politics. While human rights are considered universal, their application can be influenced by political alliances, economic interests, and cultural contexts. The United States and European nations may raise human rights concerns in countries they oppose, but overlook similar issues in allied states. This application, which is highly selective depending on the context faced by the countries, presents a major challenge to the idea of human rights. Well, in conclusion, can we consider certain rights universal? The fundamental principles of human dignity and freedom should be universal. The way these rights are applied can be influenced by political and economic factors. Truly universal human rights require consistent and impartial protection for all. without exceptions, based on political agendas or social context. Until this happens, the idea of universally applied human rights remains complicated and hotly debated. So, I want you guys to think about this topic, to know what do you guys think about this, and I will make you a question. Are human rights truly universal, or do they depend on power and political interests? Share your opinion in the comments and don't forget to like and share this video. Thank you very much.